Hello there everyone, this is iMark3 and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. Mecha Star Colonization Chill Out Simulator, but no longer quite so chill. I had a well time with second launch a few years back for that series, but I decided I'd set it aside eventually because it's like it was getting too much to keep that going. So that's kind of why this series slipped away about then. I have been poking it a bit recently to get back into the spirit of it and refresh myself on how things have been and a few changes that came out since I was last on. But if you haven't heard, a few days ago, Rise of the Dark Fog emerged. And I was telling myself quite firmly that once ye old combat update reached the game, I would return to it. And so here we are. Yeah, it's a few days, but unfortunately I've had work days, so not really a chance to settle down and properly do things to this game. Besides some initial testing. Don't worry, I've not blown up any bases or anything like that. I've just figured out a few key bits to getting started. That's all I've really looked into on this, so most of this is like, I don't know what's going to happen, what to expect, except that it's probably going to hurt. So, Dyson Sphere Program, Rise of the Dark Fog. We'll begin, of course, a new game. Do I like this? Just have to try and figure out what a nice galaxy arrangement. It's kind of uniform what it gives you, especially on 64 system, so I think that determines the ratio roughly, but there is a little bit of flux among some types. You know what, I've got 3 O-type stars. I've never been to one, don't know what those are like. It's all kind of dense except for some outlying areas. Where's the black hole? I think that's a neutron star. White dwarf, white dwarf. Where's the black hole? I genuinely do not know where the black hole is on that one. It says there is one. Oh no, there it is. Right up there at the top, where it's probably going to eat up everything before too long. Okay, so we have got ourselves our map, for better or worse. There's the seed, if anyone's curious and have the game as well. Resource multiplier, I'm leaving at 1 times. I do have my testing run I mentioned, started fairly recently, but that's at like 0.5, where there's an achievement for that. I picked up some other achievements as well. But leave that at 1 because I am not a masochist. I don't know what to expect, so I'm not going to hamstring myself by cutting my resources in half. No thank you. So, Dark Fog settings. They made the smart choice of making Dark Fog optional. You can turn them off completely if you want to. Though there is actually a multiplier to metadata build-up, which is like extra data you build up for successfully doing stuff with your saves. So, multiplies that. It's interesting. I saw a comment in the discussions complaining about, what are you teaching the children? How dare you turn this from like a sandbox casual game, so peaceful, so pure, and now you're teaching the kids that combat has to be and everything. It's like a proper troll thing, and it's like they ignore the fact that the entire thing is optional. It can be turned off, it can be tweaked. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I have to laugh at humans sometimes. Anyway, Dark Fog settings. So far, so reasonable, right? Yes. Cough. Cough. Nothing happening here. Nope. No. It's all normal. I am going for the pure Dark Fog experience. The game even warns you. Very difficult. But the multiplier is 1200%. And this is why I poked it a few times, to figure out how to survive. Happy Aether actually mentioned in a comment in a recent video where I said I was going to be returning to Dyson Sphere Program as a resuming project. Get some ammo on your mech as a priority, and then you should survive the first few waves. Not with these settings, you won't. I figured that out real quick. There's honestly, the initial hurdle is kind of steep, but once you know what to do, it's not that bad. Anyway, Let us begin, shall we? Yes. Rise of the Dark Fog.
The unknown.
I skipped this, by the way, so
Created in exploration.
this is new to me.
The seed evolves in iteration.
Okay, iterative machines.
From zero, transforming into infinity and beyond. It spreads and becomes the shadow of the galaxy.
Oh boy. Dyson Sphere Program is so light, but it's always done epic scale. That's always been one of its big draws. It just presents itself so well. Ooh, I get laser beams.
Dark fog rises. The stars dim. You will embark on a new journey.
Now we're back into the standard arrival.
Welcome to the real universe. Very soon, you'll find this place different from our homeland. But you should be able to adapt to the laws of physics here in no time. I'm your advisor. I will assist you in completing this mission.
It's always epic to see this, that's why I'm letting it go.
Everything here belongs to you. As a member of the Cosmo, a pioneer of the Dyson Sphere Program, you will explore this cluster from ground zero. Make use of the resources available here to build a Dyson Sphere that supplies energy to the center brain to maintain homeland simulation. I've chosen a planet for the mission, and there are essential resources for the initial development. Now, please pilot the space capsule toward this planet.
Okay, it's worth noting there are new voice lines relating to Dark Fog stuff. Unfortunately, you can also tell that, well, I can tell at least, that it's more recent development because the voice quality has changed slightly. I suspect they've had new equipment since they've recorded the original line, so there is a slight disconnect between the two in terms of overall sound.
Unknown EM signals detected. Extracting feature variables. Comparing with database. Those are highly likely anomalous mechanical bodies from the Mechanic Energy Program. Engineers call them dark fog. Dark fog is extremely sensitive to EM signals under a regular pattern, so they may launch an assault on us. To stay low profile, we will land on the other side of this planet.
So as you see, it took control and put us on the other side of the planet compared to the enemy bases starting out.
This is Icarus, a very powerful but lightweight industrial mecha. Use the direction keys or click the right mouse button on the ground to move the mecha. In this mission, you'll control your mecha to navigate the universe and create miracles.
I shall create miracles.
To collect resources like wood or gravel, click the right mouse button as well. In addition, you can hold Shift and click the right mouse button on each of your targets to give a series of commands. Some items are found after disassembling the space capsule. Click on the inventory button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open and check. You can hold the middle mouse button to rotate the camera, or scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
Okay, thank you, Center Brain. I do want to start talking, so... I did notice, by the way, when you first see the Dark Fog, the music was a bit loud compared to the voice, so that was something that happened. I know about that one, I know that one. What's the Dyson Sphere? It's a very pretty pearl, the jewel of a system. Close that one. background. That's telling us about the center brain. As we know, we come from a simulated world into the real world because the simulated world needs resources to sustain the simulation. So we are post-human, downloaded from our home world, which is the digital thing, into this physical form, our centralized control units Icarus, and we are here to build stuff. So close that one. Origin of the Dark Fog.
Construction menu is locked. Complete a technology research to unlock it. Click on the technology tree button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open the technology tree and start a research.
Okay, so we did this to ourselves. The Dark Fog I knew were kind of von Neumann probe, and were initially released by our group as well. It actually says here it's a precursor to the Dyson Sphere Program. Adapting themselves to the environment with fuzzy computing, mining minerals, build space bases, capture stellar energy with photon receivers, and reset them back. Abnormal signals, so the fuzzy programming that allowed them to adapt to situations and different planets and things eventually made them went out of control. Yeah, so their original control and code degenerated over time, and that's why they kind of went loose and replaced by us, the Dyson Sphere Program. So yeah, engineers like me go out there to clusters, and we might run into the previous attempt, which is the Dark Fog, the automated version.
If you need help, press G to open the guidebook for detailed instructions.
Nah, I'm good, thanks. Let's see. I'll need these. I need the metallurgy. I will need automation, and I will need assembly. And then I'm beelining straight for a weapon system. This is going to be a slow part. I'm going to skip part of this because there are actually some issues here. That being, spending energy in facilities or even in your robot just gathering and building stuff builds up threat. Now, and when that maxes out, the base goes, there's something over there, let's go poke at it and see what happens, and it sends an attack wave. Now, the threat required between waves increases, so waves get less frequent, but they do get stronger as well. Also, the more they fight, if we mouse over on this, see there's an EXP value, they're already at level 10, that's because I cranked up the starting from 1. Also, there's more of them, there's usually a limit of how much, so there's like normally 2 to 3 on a planet. I've done multiple testing games, one I happened to have 2 on, and that was much easier to survive, but 3 is more common. But we've got ourselves a budget of energy we can spend, and if we spend too much, they'll attack before we even have defenses, and as I said before, Icarus by itself can't actually protect us. So initial gathering is going to have to do. We can afford to put down 2 mines safely, and then we have to handcraft and prepare everything else before they hit us. So that's the issue. I do like this though. The out of control robotic minions developing and adapting in their own way. It's something that crops up sometimes. Sometimes it's well implemented, sometimes it's not.
Fuel is required for mecha's every activity. When energy is exhausted, its action will be restricted. You can click on the mecha panel button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open the mecha panel and replenish the fuel chamber. You've obtained a mining machine. It automatically collects ores for you. You can select it in the inventory or in the construction menu, collecting section, to start building it.
Well, the power core is why I murdered a bunch of trees. I'm just running off those at the moment. Interesting thing, personal weapon actually depends a bit on power consumption. This has been reworked, by the way. So we've got personal hanger, personal fleet, personal weapon magazine, turn it on and off. And our fuel chamber used to be just like 4 and a jump core ring, which I think is there. That's going to be jump cores probably. But it's a bit more streamlined because there's more features in here as well. And I would customize. This is actually worth doing now because you can modify your mech's weight, which affects your power consumption rate and how durable it is. The thing is, I never actually finished my customization from previously. You see, it's a bit. Yeah, the wing's not done. The legs aren't finished. Those are original chassis pieces themselves. So it's like, you know, it's not there yet. But also, it's only at 50 more hit points, but a 30% increase in power consumption because it's heavier. So, yeah, you can modify your mech and it does change things. Anyway, let's keep on going and get our initial techs out.
You have an unpowered production facility. To make it run normally, place it within the power grid coverage and make sure power is supplied.
I have already done that.
You've now built your first power grid. Some power facilities don't have a power supply range, so you'll need to extend the power grid coverage with Tesla towers. Insufficient items. Click on the replicator button at the bottom right corner of the screen.
That's okay, I've got it. I know how to build things. You just start hitting things with a rock and it turns into amazing structures. Yeah, that's totally how it works. Okay, what do I need? I need some more of these. But yeah, these are the two mining machines I'm going to allow myself before I start provoking the aggression of the enemies. But as you can see by themselves, the threat is now ticking up a lot more quickly. So that's why you don't want to overdo it with this stuff. Well, I can't get these things rolling because, you know, the threat's building up. Look, the nearest base is actually about to hit 63% already. That's getting a bit dicey. I can lay things out at the very least to start. So that's what I'm doing, just getting things ready to roll. Because as soon as I trip one of these guys, I want to be in a turnkey situation where I can immediately start pumping copper into copper ingots, into ammunition supplies, and then just immediately get ready to defend myself. Because, you know, if I don't have multiple guns, I'm gonna die. It's as simple as that. Well, yes, I can spend metadata to revive, but that has actually got a staggering cost on it. So every time you do it, it increases exponentially how much it costs to rebuild again should you die. So death isn't necessarily the end of the game, it's just it gets more and more expensive to ignore it. Which I think is just fine, honestly. Even better, it uses a more precious resource, not something you can just like stockpile in game. It's like your net progression through accomplishments is what you pay to come back. So there's that. I guess I could have used metadata to just buy out some tech, shouldn't I? Yeah, I could have just bought some of this stuff instead and not done the cost. That is one of the purposes of metadata after all. I've got to be willing to spend it. Speaking of, Gauss turrets and Magnum ammo boxes. So, Magnum ammo into Gauss rifle turrets is our first thing. Okay.
You've unlocked the weapon system. Icarus can now use ammo. Press C to open the mecha panel. Load the magazine and activate it. Use ammo to protect both yourself and the base when dark fog strikes.
So yeah, it's this slot here. We can contribute, but it's still going to be... Oh, that's a warning threat there. It's almost time. Anyway. Oh, this is kind of getting to the wire.
You've built a Gauss turret. This is a defense facility. It consumes ammo and energy to strike enemies within its range.
There's the
You
warning.
can either directly build Gauss turrets on conveyor belts that are built on the ground, or use conveyor belts to string Gauss turrets together.
Turret is short of ammo. Most turrets need ammo to fire. Click on a turret to open its panel and replenish ammo manually. Of course, it'd be better to constantly supply ammo with conveyor belts.
Warning, A dark fog planetary base has launched an attack. Icarus is equipped with a laser weapon module, which can automatically strike enemies within its range. Faster mecha power generation means a faster rate of fire. Fill the chamber with fuels.
This might not be enough. I've only got 2. Though I am repairing them as they do with my drones. Actually, I'm out of ammo now. Luckily, okay, I managed to survive that one. There's still a couple of units coming in, though. Oh, there's more units coming in anyway. Okay. Keep on going, keep on going.
Laser
You'll be fine.
weapon module consumes mecha's core energy for charging. More advanced fuel can increase the fuel chamber's power.
Charging
and the
my
rate
mech
of
to
fire of the
full
laser weapon
power.
module.
My health is kind of low. Oh, I don't like this. Go away. No, leave me alone. I'm nearly dead. Okay. So that was laser mode. Oh, I see. That one runs off my mecha's energy, and that's the one that gets better if I've got a decent power source in me. That said, though, we're not done yet. There is still another wave to come. As the thing is so delightfully warning us. Sorry, you did notice me fumbling around a little bit trying to get things sorted there. At least we've got 2 turrets on, so that's the main thing. Let's be honest, it's not been too bad, honestly. One thing I have noticed, though, is it does tend to litter around a fair bit. Oh, here come the ground ones. Sadly, I don't have a power source in me anymore. So I'm relying on the guns, but that's okay. We've actually got through it. We've got through this. Okay. Last thing, of course, is they actually litter like some resources and things, so it's actually helpful a little bit to get stuff. So I am getting some things for it. The problem is I have to find all the litter. Excuse me. Bad time for my throat to lock up there a little bit. There we go, got it all. I think you can automate that at some point, but it's like I've not quite gone there yet. Really? Oh, I'm building one at a time, that's why. Of course, we're doing more guns, and that was the first wave. Even with the fusion core loaded in and one active turret at the time, we still barely held that one. But we're okay now. We're okay now. And I will pull some kinetic ammo for my core as well. The one thing, of course, I must address is fuel. Luckily, we did scoop something up quite interesting there, which is these energy shards. A chemical fuel obtained from dark fog debris. When providing energy to Icarus, its internal molecular simulation mechanism can accelerate the speed of the replicator. So replicator speed increases by 50% while this thing is being used as fuel. Which can help us more quickly stamp out the parts we need to try and keep on top of all this. Which is, I need a drill. There's a coal seam right next to us, so I want to tap into that if I can. And we also need more turrets because that was only the first wave. Notice the required experience is now 48,000 for the next wave to come in. They've gained experience, but the thing is, the other hives, they also gain experience as well, based on what's happening. But it's far less than hives you're actively engaging. So there is some peripheral contamination experience. It's just like, it's not a one-to-one thing, so if you're not actively engaging a hive, it doesn't level up very quickly. But it does happen. They will get stronger. Now, the last key thing I learned in my testing, because this is about as far as I've tested really, making sure I can survive the first few waves, is you've got to make sure to protect yourself as much as you physically can. Because if you don't protect yourself or your base, things can get broken in a hurry. And that's when things start to go sideways in an extremely quick way.
Abnormal dark fog signals detected. A significant statistical correlation exists between the density of these signals and our power consumption. On this planet, dark fog is monitoring our energy fluctuations to determine how much threat we pose them. When this threat peaks, they may launch an attack. The upper left corner of the screen shows the cumulative threat to each hive.
Okay, so that was telling us about the threat meter, which I've been reacting to the whole time. So it's like, I think normally it'll be becoming an issue if I was on standard settings, because I'm massively accelerated. I bumped into them way before the tooltip even came up to warn me about it. Anyway, we now have 5 Gauss turrets. Notice that turrets have effective range. They've got, they can be grouped together. They've got some special modes, like there's a burst mode, planet burst mode. What's planet burst mode? Number of turrets that enable supernovas simultaneously. What does group burst mode mean? Doesn't want to give me a tooltip, but there's single shots and group bursts, which I assume is like attack groups. So you can also tell them what to attack, like priorities, different settings. So ground and low air is all these can do. Range 44 meters. There are some limits to pitch, so that's angles a thing. And they do need power as well as ammo, but they are fairly effective by themselves. We are a lot safer with those things around. Also, time to switch to coal power. Hooray, coal power. Also, I think they've increased the amount of titanium ore you get from rocks and things. I don't remember getting this much previously. Anyway, yeah, that was a bit of text coming up about the warning system I pointed out to start with. What is that? Alpha, Beta, and... I don't recognise that. Is that Delta? Yankee? I know the first two, I don't know that one. But anyway, let's have a quick look at our first thing.
In the planet view, you can hold...
Go away, thank you.
In the planet view...
I know how to control the planet view, thank you. So this is what we're dealing with right now. They have defensive turrets, they have defensive formations of units. There's 3 of them, but they are on the opposite side of the planet, but proximity also seems to play a factor in how quickly they build up. So if we have a look, this one is the closest because it's getting the most threat. This one is about the same, and this one is apparently a little bit further away. So it's getting the least threat overall. It's also an order of wave, because only one wave seems to come in at a time as far as I know. I don't know if that's something to rely on though. Anyway, I need turrets, I need production, I need automation of things, but I also need to protect everything. Here they come. Honestly, part of me's been wanting... can't quite get at it. There we go. Part of me's hoping for an attack to come so I can get the extra production boost, since I'm handcrafting stuff at the moment. So it's actually kind of good to be wanting that. As you can see, my defenses have also increased a little bit too, so I'm good. The one thing I noticed as well, they do mix in ground forces and air forces too, so there's using drones, and as you can see there's already a bigger wave coming in as well. I'm going to need some extra guns over in this direction, because this one at the end is a bit of a weak point. It's fine if I start repairing it, but if I'm not in range, then it could quite easily get destroyed. And of course, I also wish it highlighted litter, but I think there's an automated thing we can do to pick up litter later, so that's okay. Just trying to find them in the meantime. Now I'll ignore it. Right, anyway, I want to put my advanced fuel in. So, some of that, and more importantly those. Okay. So it's fine if a wave comes in from the side, but if it comes in from an end like this, it's a bit more of an issue. You see that? They actually went and hit some of my wind turbines as well. So they do like to engage things when they get a chance, but then they prioritise defences. So that is also a factor in trying to defend things. Ideally the gun turret should be up front. Or stuff you don't mind getting battered and maybe losing. Let's be honest, actually I'd rather lose the wind turbines than I'd lose the gun turrets, because the gun turrets are a lot harder to replace when all is said and done. Anyway, more minor news. Production of magnets and iron plates is now automated. It's a small thing, but it is starting. Jolly good. Fires came from that way. Where are the ground forces coming from? Oh, there they are. Now, something I'm not sure about is if I was to build a close base to theirs, would that act as a decoy and draw them to it? I know emissions from that base would antagonize them a lot more, but would all enemy attacks go for that base automatically? It's worth thinking about at the very least. Oh, one last thing I should probably note is your drones actually prioritize getting repairs sorted out above any kind of construction work. So trying to build stuff up in the middle of an attack is actually not going to work too well, unless there's a way to shut that off, but I've not found it. There might be a way to shut that off, actually. Don't know if it was ever in this game. Well, actually, I think it is a more recent addition. Like the ability to have it just like bounce over a track like that. It used to be possible manually, I believe it was, but it's like I think it was added later in automatically. Just like if that's the thing, you can just like bounce up and over it instead of having to drop to an entire level. Either that, or I never actually discovered it back when I was doing the first few runs in the game. Might be that one, but I really feel like I read it somewhere. It was being added. So yeah, just do it like that, just straight across, and it automatically bops up. 90% sure that is a new feature that wasn't there in second launch. That's my decision. I'm going to stick to it, I guess. I know it's not pretty, but it's a start, and it's keeping things relatively compact at the moment. And that's all I'm trying to do. It won't scale, but that's because I don't want it to scale until I get access to splitters. Because they are such a good tech, but I don't have access to them just yet. This, however, will allow me to automate research. As well as making some other parts as well that I kind of need. Okay, this is something new I've not tried before. Just trying to... I noticed there's some different things, like set uniform filter, set by existing items, and clear all. So I'm thinking, if I pull that now... Yeah, I've actually got lock slots for different items. I don't remember that being in the game. Yeah, voice. I don't remember that being in the game either, so that is new, and I think is one of the things I kind of missed in Factorio, actually, that I really wanted to see in that game. The ability to just lock slots off to a certain item. There we go. So I've got my single storage here, but it actually acts as my storages for iron, copper, circuits, gears, and circuits again. Whoops. You saw nothing. I didn't make a mistake, what's done? Okay, and then I can just go ahead and latch these on because there's a range of 3 on these guys, so they can go straight in there. 1 universal storage for getting construction supplies picked up. Very fancy. Though more importantly, with these two here, we've actually got access to production on science, so I can start doing that. Reminds me, I never actually built one of these guys. Let's go ahead and pick up some of these. Yeah, it's slow right now, but that will get better. Because I need two of these, one for making science and one for doing actual research, unless I do it for my inventory, which I don't plan to do any further, unless required. And then this shall go, I guess, here? Again, temporary setup. Will be torn down later.
A facility to produce matrices. It can also be used to research technologies that are unlocked with matrices. Matrices are the source codes to maintain the center brain simulation of a homeland. You can upload as many matrices to the center brain to run its simulation and unlock more technologies in the real world.
Gotta say though, this whole like unlock things in the real world. That's one of the things I like about this, and I think is one of the roots of potential transhumanism. The entire digital upload thing is all well and good, but I've always held the belief that if you lose touch with that humanity, like the grounding of being a human creature in a human existence, you can't ignore the physical for your own simulated world, because sooner or later the physical will rise up and bite you in the behind, to put it bluntly. So you can't ignore it. The real world doesn't stop existing just because you stop paying attention to it. I wish I could stop paying attention to the real world, but sadly the real world is forever intruding on my mind. Such is the way it is. Anyway, there is a threat coming. However, I am about at the point where I can actually greatly streamline production of turrets, because the bulk of it was making them components, but now I can just slap out turrets straight out. Good. Mass production of turret defenses is confirmed. Though I also need a whole bunch of conveyors to get ammunition to where I need it. That's going to take up some cogs, which I also have plenty of access to right now. Very good. And yeah, there's the attack right there. The fast flying flyers did come at me while I was away from the turrets a little bit, and so my drones are distracted now. But there's some more guns over there to help, and these guns will protect this side as soon as the conveyors are down, if my bots would kindly hurry up with that. Gotta remember, the early bots are so slow. Ah, here they come. No, don't go and... they're going off to repair. So I might lose some bits and pieces over this way. Well, actually, no, I didn't, luckily. Yeah. See what I mean about...
has been destroyed by dark fog. Engineer, hold the left mouse button on the gray hologram to instantly reconstruct it. Ensure the corresponding items are available in your inventory. Alternatively, you can press X to completely dismantle it.
Yeah, so that's one of the things added in this game. Since there wasn't ruins before this update, everything's got its own ruined bits. So in this case, this poor power turbine got blown up because these guns weren't ready. But I could shift-click to copy it, I can just hold left mouse to build a replacement if I have the item in my inventory, or I can press X to get rid of it. Well, there we go. But I think there are ways to automate that as well. It's just I've not got that far into it yet. And my drones are flying off to fix this. From this humble beginning, my domination of this galaxy grows. And honestly, after the initial spike, things have been getting fairly easier as my factory starts to pick up. Is that the thing that's coming? I think it is. Yes, it is. Right now, the dark fog on max difficulty is amounting to a fireworks display, honestly. I still think it is like one raid at a time. Anyway, I am starting to pick up essential research. Like, I'm actually starting to research my mecha core to get power, so I can start doing other things. I'm getting my first vein scanning of tech. There is, by the way, an entire branch down here dedicated to offensive weaponry. But there's also one up here as well, which is due to a defense for us to help us be less squishy, which is in the form of a energy shield, which can shrug off a certain amount of damage depending on how well charged it is. Then, of course, down here in the tech tree, there's also like better ammo types, more turret types, and there's also the units down here as well. Like that's our first prototype mobile units down there, which allows us to start preparing to take the fight back to the dark fog. There's also some other things as well. Like I noticed, like the engines have got a graphic there, which I think was different from before. Where is the other engines? Oh, something's coming after me. Oh no, there's the conventional regular thruster. So the engines is actually a completely new thing. There's also like combustibles is new as well, and that's made from coal, and that's used in like explosive stuff. Oh, it's the turn of the new turret line to defend the base, and they do just fine. Normally I would have spread out a lot further by now, I admit. The dark fog does make me slow down, but that is to be expected. Anyway, there are things I need to be grabbing. I want to get better logistics to improve my stackers, and also get splitters, of course, because, you know, need those for more efficient belt operation. Then I think work towards getting our first units to help protect ourselves. Actually, no, I should get my shields first. Yeah, get my own energy shield first, so that I don't die as easily, and we'll go from there. Now you can see the numbers are increasing, can't you? We also need more turrets. A couple of our turrets actually got blown up. We need more drones, actually, pretty urgently, I would say.
All turrets have a powerful ability, Supernova. Turrets will accumulate a large amount of energy for a short time once Supernova has been enabled. After accumulating, turrets will enter burst mode and fire extremely quickly for several seconds. Note, Supernova costs a massive amount of power. It can't be used if power supply is too low.
Okay, so that's what this is. Like, single means only one turret, group means all turrets in a group does it, planet means the entire world does it. That's what those three settings mean. I was kind of wondering. But Supernova is massive boost to rate of fire, but a big spike in power consumption as well, so something to be used kind of sparingly. Also, turn off using item in inventory for now. I don't need to see its total. We just ran out of iron, so I'm just getting more iron going. We need full bore smelteries, but I can't protect them just yet. Soon, though, my precious. Very soon.
Research is too slow. Build more matrix labs. Multiple matrix labs can contribute to the same research. Build more matrix labs and set them to research mode, and ensure sufficient supply of matrices.
Oh, it's not matrix labs that are the problem. It was a shortage of iron plate going through. That was the problem. Ooh, that was nasty. That was like 50 units it just sent there, and look at that, it wiped out my turrets line completely. Almost complete, there was only a handful left. Right, I need to upgun myself, because that is actually getting kind of a handful. I guess that's the growth factor thing. The growth factor is no joke. Must harden defenses. Must prepare kill machines. My machines must kill their machines. Or something. There it is. Right. Okay, so let's put things to work and actually get some more stuff sorted out. I'm going to need better ammo production as well, I think. Yeah. Rolling back to base, there's 55 units coming in.
Congratulations. You've unlocked Energy Shield. It can resist all damage from enemies and protect all facilities within its radius. Energy Shield requires Mecha's core energy to charge. The charging speed depends on the current fuel chamber power generation, as well as the Mecha's current energy percentage. Once the shield's power is exhausted, it takes some time to restart.
I've got the shield, I've got incoming. My power is overloading a bit, so I do need some more power. Yes. I'm mostly okay though. It really does depend which side they come from, but as a test I decided to build that out there as a decoy base. But I think the way they actually approach the target does change up a bit as well sometimes, so it's like... I'm not sure if that'll be enough to stop them if I just have a decoy base near them. We'll find out once I build some turrets within range. It's also the question of what the actual range on their turrets is too. That I don't know. Ow. One of them this size seems to actually be getting through fairly consistently. Meaning this area is probably a weak point. That said though, our solution for like being able to pick stuff up might be about to be sorted, because I noticed in the tech tree listing, this thing actually has a coverage, construction range 60 meters, pickup range 90 meters. So it might be able to harvest things that have been dropped. Also got to bear in mind I need power sources as well, because I've got to work those in too. Without power, my guns are going to be doing a whole load of nothing. What's broken? Oh, was that turret over there? Yeah, that middle bit there means it's more robust in that direction, but over here it's just like they charge through and things go wrong very quick. Try to figure out where to put another defensive line. Actually, some backup turrets behind here would probably be a good idea. Okay, 74 units. Decoy post is set. Question is, where are they going to go? Because that might be a potential issue. I don't think they've gone for my decoy post. Oh no, they are going past it, but they aren't heading for it. They're actually heading towards my main base. Okay, so that decoy post didn't actually in itself draw them. So what did they use for targeting then? Also worth noting, that was a bank of 20 turrets over there. They got torn to shreds. This might be a problem. So that said, the enemy is quite battered there. So I think maybe it might have been the power supply issue, actually. Yeah, might have been a power supply issue that got that base destroyed. It was worth a try. But they are smarter than I gave them credit for, at the very least. Also worth noting, I wasn't sure about, they didn't kill the splitter, so they don't count that as a valid target. Just like they didn't shoot the conveyors, so proper buildings, but splitters don't count. Good to know. Hmm, 74 units, and already I'm starting to see problems. My shield is held off quite well, though it did get depleted during that. And more importantly though, they did actually crash straight through a whole bunch of turrets as well. So these turrets are actually getting quite fragile. I need something better. And sooner rather than later. I just hope this thing will actually do the job and give me something to help automate some of this. Though that said, it's still it's being slow to do it because all my copper is actually being dumped into ammunition production. So I think a bypass might be a good idea for that as well. Just like get some resources out and put them elsewhere. What else is broken? Oh, that two over there is broken too. And 2 power poles are broken that I forgot to scrap earlier, so that's okay. No major damage apart from that. What can I do about these guns though? They aren't quite doing it. I'm going to have to divert some copper off the line and actually make sure I'm getting some research done, because being stagnant on tech is actually not going to help. What I'm thinking thoughts. I'm wondering if max diff is actually where I want to be. I'm really struggling to get started, and it looks like the momentum is actually a very serious thing. So much so that I'm actually struggling to get much done. Normally I'd be a lot further along than I am right now. I think I want to make a tier 2s. I don't actually have the tech for motors yet, but the enemies do sometimes drop motors as loot, and I've got all this spare ammo thanks to redoing the lines out there, feeding some turrets once or twice. So it's like, you know, I'm carrying some extra guns, so that's why I'm diverting some stuff. There we go. Oh, the wind turbine got blown up, that's why. Okay. That will feed spare copper back into the system so that it doesn't need to get reproduced. That is doing things. What I urgently need is probably going to be this guy, which needs motors and steel. Steel is actually queued up, so I'll queue that as well. So I need some other basic text to try and salvage this a bit. Okay, here we go. Analysis basis. Built-in construction module with 12 drones. Oh, that's going to be a massive aid fixing things up and maintaining my base. After it's been activated, it will automatically analyze demand for construction and repair within its range. Response will send construction drones to construct or repair. You may prioritize the construction module. Balance mode will be even assigned between construction and repair tasks. You may also prioritize one or the other. Debris analysis is another function of the analysis base. When defeated, Dark Fog may drop rewards. If auto pickup is enabled, the base will automatically pick up rewards and trash in range. Alternatively, you may set a filter on the base's storage to control the items picked up. A large depot can be built vertically above the battlefield analysis to provide more storage space. If you run logic distribution, you may continue building a logic distribution vertically above the large depot. After auto reconstruction has been unlocked, the base can analyze nearby remains of friendly buildings and mark them for reconstruction. As long as construction items are stored at the base will be able to send construction drones to reconstruct them. Bases will perform combat tasks. After a prototype has been unlocked, the battlefield analysis base will be able to deploy a squadron This means when enemies approach, it'll automatically send ground fighters to protect the base from enemies. Okay, so this is going to be a massive step up in my options here. The only issue is it requires semiconductor, which needs silicon, which I don't have, and they don't seem to be dropping either. Not that way. I need to pay a visit to another planet to get some semiconductor to do that. Ah. Okay, sadly my silicon seems to be in another planet. That means I need to get spaceflight online. Oh dear. That might be an issue. At least research is actually going on now, so in a limited fashion, so there is that. This base is way too small. Mind you, I've been thinking that for quite a while, but yeah, this base is way too small. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'll actually use some metadata. Brute force these two. So, grab you. Oh, some achievements can't be used. Ah. That's why I've not used it before. Okay, yeah. Using metadata to force through a thing is actually an achievement locker. I forgot about that. Ah well, right. So what I need is to secure my base a bit better. Right now my options to do that are limited. All of them. There's steel. 90 units are coming in now. I'm not on a convenient island either. Like, well, actually, since these are hover units coming in, it doesn't care about that anyway. But we'll have to try and see what we can do. Oh, and I'm out of fuel as well, of course. Right. Oh, this might be it, actually. Yep. Okay. My hubris got the better of me. Ah. Crunch.
Lost connection to center brain. Mission failed. You can continue from your previous save game, or use metadata to redeploy or reassemble Icarus. To redeploy, center brain will dispatch a new Icarus to the landing point on the initial planet. To reassemble, center brain will reassemble scattered components into an intact Icarus and retain all items in the inventory.
Ooh, so yeah, it's like super cheap to do that right now. Redeploy local landing points. Problem is landing points are extremely hostile, so I don't think the save is worth saving. Definitely worth a look though, trying to see what max difficulty looks like. We went way further than my testing games did. Yeah, I'm going to say that that's my first attempt. I died. I think the entire point of this is my hubris got the better of me. So, yeah. Oh dear. Mission failed. Anyway, that was my first look at Rise of the Dark Fog. Turns out if you give the Dark Fog teeth, they absolutely use it. I was probably too slow trying to get stuff over. I do tend to operate at more of a chill pace, I must admit. So, yeah. I think probably going forward, I will dial it back to a more reasonable pace. But when the game says very difficult, it means very difficult. You have to be on the ball, and I don't think I was. I was playing around with my early end stuff when the enemy advanced past it so quickly it became nearly useless in the end. Ah well, I died, I had fun. That's all that counts. Ooh. Does Dark Fog make their own spheres? I don't know. I think that's just like a solar gathering base or something that's here. Anyway, yeah. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, guess you call it a pilot for Rise of the Dark Fog. I tried it on max difficulty. I got blown up. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps out me, helps out channel, gives me a virtual handbag site. Oh so crave. And let me know of your thoughts moving on to the next part. What difficulty do you think I should go for? Do you think I should just like leave it on standard and have a fairly nice factory game with some threat mixed in? Or should I try to beef things up a little bit further? Though I don't think to the point where it was. It was constricted to the point where I felt like I was struggling to do much. So, not that hard. But it was worth a look just to see what it was like. But yeah. Ooh, look at this little fleet going past. Very clean designs, these. Anyway, yeah. See you all some other time.